What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. Welcome back to a new video, and we about to get back into some regular installs, man. Get back to business. But before we can get started on that, so now I got some other stuff that I want to do. I got some other stuff that I need to install, but this has been kind of a busy week for me at work because I've been working extra days this week. So I really don't have the time to do the stuff that I want to do. But there is something I have been curious about for some time now, and that's if using a thicker oil would change your oil pressure in it. So we're about to get into that. So I got the Ghost up on the drive, on the ramps, get up underneath there. I'm gonna change the oil. What we using? I'm going back to this because for some time now, and I think I'm gonna stay with this, because remember when I used this before, and this is the 5W40 Amazon European motor oil. I told you I noticed a difference in how the turbo spooled up and how the engine sounded. It seemed like it rolled a lot smoother. Now, we've been in triple digit weather for over a month, man, almost 2 months, dude. And I'm pretty much beating the crap out of the motor. So I figure I'm just gonna switch to this and just stay with the 5W40. And while we at it, I want to see if there's going to be any changes in the oil pressure. So the fact that I got to work means at least if I'm driving the car to work, I can kind of just bring the camera with me and you can check out the pressures and see what it does on a cold start. And then when we're driving on the highway and then just driving on the roads, just to see if there's any changes in that or if it affects your oil pressure a lot or just minimal. So that's kind of what I'm curious about. I want to find out. So I figure I'll just take y'all on this journey with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and y'all know how to do an oil change. I've done these before on the channel, man. So I'm just gonna knock this thing out. It's not gonna be like a tutorial on that. It's mainly gonna be about seeing if we got any changes in oil pressure. And matter of fact, I got the temps on there too, so we're gonna see the temps and see if there's a change there. So let me go ahead and get to it, man, and change this oil, man, and then we can go from there.
You on my mind a lot, don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You like my oxygen, make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in, from the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up, break you in then break you out. In the end we gon' make a child, then we gon' hit the shower. Part 2 we don't need no pause. You with Misty, we gon' get tipsy, don't need a power shot.
Copy my steel. Face the fact that ain't no cap, I'm real. Ain't no cap, I'm real. The plastic bars tryna copy my steel. Copy my steel. Face the fact that ain't no cap, I'm real. Ain't no cap, I'm real. The plastic bars tryna copy my steel.
Got my heart no in the bed. Break you in then. Yeah, this every day. Got my heart no in the bed.
All right, y'all, so the oil change is done now. I kind of want to really gauge this thing by having a cold start on it. I'm changing the oil on this thing after I just got back from the gym. So it's still kind of warm. So I'm gonna wait till later on today. So let me let this thing cool down so we can get a nice good cold start on it, and then we'll go from there. All right, look, it's something that I wanted to add in here. So some little, little thing that I do whenever this is how much oil that I put in the car. Okay, so this is what, 5 quarts. There's really, I put 5.5 quarts in there. That gets it past a little bit past the top dot on the dipstick. When you run the car, it's gonna run oil through everything else, so it's gonna go down a little bit. But how I gauge how much oil, if any oil got burnt, is I put, or if, just to see if I have an issue or not. When all of the containers that I used for the oil, I put the oil that I took out of the car and I pour it back into the containers I got the oil out of, just to see how many and how full it gets, and just basically to see how much oil, if I'm putting in how much it came out. So for the most part, all of these are filled up past this point, like all the way up to here. Every last one of these are filled up to here. So that's telling me that I don't really have an issue and I'm not burning any oil or anything like that everything I took out is exactly what I'm putting back in. It's just kind of a way you can kind of like quickly see, okay, am I burning oil or not? Well, let me change my oil, and then let me put the oil I took out of the car back into the same container that I put the new oil in there with. And just to see how full it is, that let me know if I'm burning a ton of oil or if it's just normal, you know, the normal amount of oil that's being burnt out of the motor. So I don't know, I just wanted to share that with y'all to see, you know, just a couple of little quick little things that I kind of do just to kind of gauge where I'm at with the motor. That way I know to a degree if I'm in trouble or if I need to start doing some deeper maintenance. All right, y'all, this is later on in the day. And we're gonna do a car, get a little cold start going. So here we go. Now, of course, we're gonna be above 100 PSI because, you know, it's as high as this thing goes. So let's see where we get to. And it's trying to come out of it pretty quick. So I'm gonna let this thing warm up all the way. Take a look at how the pressures look. Okay, so now what I will say is that I like just turned the camera off and turned it right back on because it seemed to have calmed down a lot quicker and gotten down to this pressure really quick. So it seemed it calmed down fast, even though our temp is at hopefully I can see this. It's 113 degrees and our cooling temp is 129. So usually before, like I told y'all, around 130 I would leave, but that was a little bit too soon. But this then gotten down pretty quick. I usually don't see this pressure until I'm at least at like 120, because usually at around 135 is where I'm at 50, and I'm at 117 and I'm already, when I say 117 is the oil temp as opposed to the pressure here. I'm gonna see if there's a difference in the pressures whenever it gets to like 50. Usually when I'm at 50, this thing is at 135 as far as for the coolant temp, and then well, not coolant temp, I'm sorry, the oil temp. And then the coolant temp is around 145 when that's at 50 degrees. You see, I'm already touching 69. I'm at 120 there, but I'm at 138 for a coolant temp already. But 10 hours later since a little more than 10 hours later than me starting the car. So now I'm at 140, 124 with my oil temp, and I'm already down to 164. It's taking it a little, it's faster to a degree, but I think the real telltale is gonna be whenever I start getting on it and driving it and seeing what it does. All right, so like we still going now, and we at like 100. The oil temp is 158 degrees, cooling temp is 178, and we looking at we at around 39, 38 psi. So it's jumping around there, getting pretty warm. But the oil temp, that's what's kind of tripping me out. But now this is just the initial first drive. I'm gonna drive on this thing another day and kind of give you guys what I think about it. You know, the change in it so far. All right, goodness. Now, usually at this point, the temperatures, because I'm at 190 on the coolant temp and 174 on the oil temp. You're seeing as though I'm doing 45, I'm in fourth gear. I should be seeing a lower pressure than that. I should be really at around 70, like 69, 70. So yeah, there is definitely a difference in your oil pressure, but you know, that's to be expected when you're going with a thicker oil. So it's to be expected, but just it's interesting to see just how much. So like I said, I'm gonna go back and look at the details from the other video that I put out, just to kind of see see how different it is. And we're not really in triple digits at this time of the day right now. So we at 96 degrees outside. So cool. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, y'all. This is like a quick, short little drive, man. And I'm going to head back to the office, or to my office. And then I'm gonna see what we looking like. I'm gonna check that other footage because I want to verify exactly what the pressures were. So yeah, I'll see y'all in a minute. All right, so I just got back to the house. Now we are all of the way warmed up because now my pressures are sitting at around 19 and 18. Now, mind you, this is still like the first day, and this thing is all the way warmed up. You know, the cooler temp is 196. Our oil temp is right up to 203. And that's kind of where we're sitting now. Before it was around, usually around this time, at those temps, I'm already around 16 to 17. But like I said, we still not in triple digit. It's like 98 degrees out here. But that's what we're looking like. So there's definitely a difference in your oil pressure, but like I said, it's to be expected. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna drive on this thing another day or so, and just to see where it's at, roughly, and then if need be, I do like little updates and stuff like that. All right, y'all, what's going on, man? Welcome back to a new day. And tell you my findings. So I drove on the car a little bit just to try it, and what I did is I followed the same path as I followed in the last video I did, which that video will be right over here, posted in that corner. So if you guys want to check that out and do like your own little comparison or whatever, I did that, and I pretty much followed the same path. It's really just the path that I would take like on my way to work or whatever. That way then I can keep the results the same or be within the same parameters of the last video. So in regular driving, just, shifting from gear to gear on the street, and I shifted around 3,000 RPMs. I was seeing around, I think before it was, what was I seeing? Low to mid 70s. This time I'm seeing like, mid 70 to 80, 75 to 80. So that was a difference there. And I think before once I got on the freeway and I'm riding 65 miles per hour, my pressures were, and this is 6 miles of driving. Now, from there to the from my house to the freeway, it's about 6 miles. So, the pressures that I saw then was 67 to 69 PSI. And this go around, I was seeing 75 to 80, like, within that range. So it wouldn't go down no lower than that. So riding 65, it stayed pretty much around that area. Before I would see more 60 to 70. This time it's more, 70. It was 75 or 72 to 76. Around in that area, so it stayed in there. So there was a slight increase in pressure for oil pressure, which, like I say, that's to be expected because you're using the thicker oil. Being in Texas, I think you need that. Now, once I got off the freeway, there was just one point where I stopped, and this is after riding for a while, and then I checked my idle once I had got off the freeway and got to the first stoplight, like I did in the previous video. And I think at that time it was idling, and I was seeing 16 to 17 PSI, and that's at a stop at idle. And this go around at idle and stop, I was seeing 18 to 20 PSI. And that's sitting at the same spot after the same length of driving. That's pretty much where I was. Is there an increase in pressure? Yes. You're gonna see a lot, but for me, it was more to find out, not that I was curious that it wasn't gonna raise. I knew it was, but I was more curious about how much it would raise. That way that you kind of know where you're at. But again, using that oil, man, this car, well, let me say this car. My car, I'll say, really likes it because it's like the turbo spools up better. It's like everything comes on. It's different. It's different than using the 5W30. Also, another thing that I noticed with the 5W30 as well is once it started getting out, got around 3,000 miles on that mug, when it made me change it, I noticed that the oil pressures were going all the way down. It never would before go down past 14 PSI. And now when they're getting old like that, and remind you that we've been in triple digit weather, triple digit heat for about 2 months. So that excessive wear, 10 to 12 PSI. So basically this information is just for, stuff to keep in the back of your mind, just helping you think of different ways to monitor your car to make sure that your car is fine, especially if you beat on it really hard. You really need to be paying attention to what your car is doing so you can catch an issue before it becomes a major problem. This is more along the lines of you being able to keep an eye on your car so that you don't have any issues and you can catch anything before it becomes a serious problem. That's all, man. I ain't really got too much on this one because, like I said, it's been a busy week for me. I've been working. I'm working more days this week than I work any other week. So I got some more interesting stuff coming. I still got a shelf full of parts, man, that we about to get into installing, man. So I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for the support, man. All my new subscribers, man. Thank y'all for deciding to subscribe to your boy, man. Like I said, man, it don't cost you nothing. It helps the channel out a ton. So, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all. I'm really enjoying this experience that I'm having right now, and that's all thanks to y'all. So thank you. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and hit all so you get notified whenever I put out a video. And until that next video, y'all, peace out.